Welcome to the Business of Style podcast with me, your host, Louisa Gabriel. I'm a personal stylist and image strategist who grew a successful six-figure business, and now I'm educating and empowering other personal stylists and image professionals just like you to do the same. So please keep listening to hear the lessons I've learned and the strategies I've used along the way that are guaranteed to take your personal styling career from side hustle to six figures too. Hi, everyone, and welcome to the latest episode of the Business of Style podcast. Today, we're going to be talking all about websites, and specifically, I'm going to give you 10 things that your website must have. 10 very, very important things. Whether you haven't got your website started just yet, this is going to be a great episode because it's going to help you figure out what you need to include. And if you already do have your website, this is also going to be helpful because you can go back and make sure that you have all the important things in place for your website to help you actually attract new clients. So let's dive straight into it. So the number one thing that your website needs to have is a very clear about you page with your photograph. Now, that's a non-negotiable. If you have a website where your photograph is nowhere on the website, this is not going to help you find clients. I've talked in episodes before about the importance of connection, how people want to get to know you, and part of that is being able to see what you look like and find out all about you. So it's really important because your website is your number one marketing tool where people are going to go to get really in-depth information about you and your services, that you are very present on that website. Even if you are using a business name as opposed to using your own name to work under, you still need to be there. Your face still needs to be there, and the information about you, who you are, what your background is, what your experience is all very, very crucial to your site. So that's number one, an about you page with your photograph. Number two, you're going to need a services or a sales page. This page needs to really give your potential clients or the visitors to your website the information about what you actually do, what your services are, and also what the value of those services are to them. If you're a regular listener and you've tuned into episodes before, you've heard me speak about value, how we need to place the focus on the value of what we do as personal stylists. So instead of just talking about what a style consultation or a color consultation does, what is the value to that person of receiving those services? How is it going to impact and improve their life? Your sales page really needs to focus on that, and you really need to try and go into detail. Make sure that people who are coming to your website know what to expect from each service or each package that you offer. It's very, very important that we really focus on that value as opposed to just selling our service. Number three, your prices. Now, this is a topic that has been debated throughout the decades. Should you put prices on your website? Should you not put them on? Is it better to negotiate prices, to get on a sales call with somebody first? And the very traditional kind of old school marketing that it is viewed as now was no. Don't put your prices on your website. Keep them hidden. Get somebody hooked in first. Get them excited about what you have to offer so that when they hear the price, they want it so much. They don't care so much about the price. But we're not about that today. We're about authenticity and being open and being honest with our potential clients and customers. And the one way that we can do that and help build up that trust is to be 100% transparent and honest about our prices. So on your website, make it clear what the prices are. Another good reason for this is that if you do decide to offer a 15-minute quick discovery call to see if it's going to be the right match for somebody, it lessens the chance that they're going to try and negotiate your prices down because they've seen the prices. It's pretty clear that these are your firm prices. So it can remove any kind of awkward conversations when they're trying to haggle with you and you're like, no, these are my prices. These are what you need to pay. So put your prices on your website, be transparent, be open for potential clients. The next thing that is very important is a contact page. You want to make it as easy as possible for people to reach you. Okay. So you can have a page where you can have all your information on there, whether it be phone numbers, email address, whether it be ways to, send you a DM through Messenger or WhatsApp. As much information, as many ways as you have to contact you, make sure it's clear. You can also have an inquiry form. Some people like to be a little bit anonymous to start with and don't feel comfortable picking up a phone and calling someone to ask. So creating a contact form on your website is a great way to allow them to ask you questions while being a little bit more anonymous. If your website has the capability to have online chat functions, that's another great thing to do. But the most important thing is that on your website, it is very, very clear how they can contact you to find out more information or to actually book a session with you. So don't just hide it on one page that's like the very last page on your menu. On your home page, add a contact me button. On every page, you can actually add a button. It just makes it easier for people to reach out and connect with you. Okay, so what are we up to? Number 5. This one is important for Google reasons and for search engine reasons, but it gets a little bit tricky because it's location. Now, I know that most personal stylists don't have an office. They don't have a studio that they work out of. They don't usually work out of their own homes. They have a home office, yeah. But when they're working with clients, they are meeting them at the shopping mall, or they are going to that person's house, or they're setting up, a room at a hotel, depending on the type of services that you offer. But it's very important to still have a location on your website because Google and Bing and all the other search engines are going to read that location and know that you are a personal stylist located in Boston, or you are a personal stylist located in Dublin. It's very important so that Google, other search engines can get your information in front of the right people. So you do have to have a location. Now, it doesn't have to be your address, okay? If you don't have a studio, you're not going to put an address, but make sure that the general area or your service area is covered. So if you live in a, specific town, but you cover a wider geographical distance, make sure all the towns that you covered that you're willing to travel to are included somewhere on your website so that search engines know where to put you and whose eyes to put you in front of. So that's a very important one, is making sure that we know exactly where you are. The next one is an FAQ page, frequently asked questions. We want to give potential clients as much information as we possibly can. And one of the good ways to do that is to have this FAQ page. You've probably seen them on all different websites. I have them on my websites. They're very helpful for people. And you kind of preempt the type of questions that people, might ask, that they might want to know about your business. So think about those questions. Think about when somebody is considering working with a personal stylist, what information is going to be important to them? What kind of questions do they have? It could be, where do the services take place? What happens if I'm not happy with the service? And can I get a refund? And what's the booking policy? There are just so many questions that they could ask. And you're not going to be able to cover them all, but you can definitely cover some of the more general ones. And giving potential clients, those visitors to your website, as much information as possible helps them make a more informed decision. And that's what we want them to do. We want to encourage that by giving them the information they need. One way to figure out some of the questions that people will ask is go to Google and type in, personal stylist in Boston. And if you scroll down the page, it actually also gives you the other queries, the other questions that people are asking when they're also asking about personal stylists in Boston. So there are many different ways that you can find these questions, but I think you can probably figure them out yourself. You might have been asked questions before by previous clients if you've been in the industry for a while, but give them as much information as possible. All right, on to number 7. Privacy policy. Now, this is one of those legal things. You have to have a privacy policy on your website so that you don't get into any kind of trouble. You have to let every single visitor know that comes to your website what you are tracking. Are you tracking their cookies? What are you doing with that information? If people subscribe to your website, what are you actually doing with that information? Are you passing it on to a third party? You have to show them how you are holding that information and what your plans are with that info. So it's very important to have a privacy policy, even if it's just a basic one to get started, because you might not really be tracking anything. Along with the privacy policy comes the opt-in or opt-out for the cookies on websites. These are all very important legal things that you definitely want to consider for your website. And depending on who your website host is, they usually have some kind of template. They make it very easy for you to turn on cookie consent so that people can opt in or opt out. And you can also do a quick internet search for privacy policy templates. There are many, many out there. I think there's a company called Rocket Lawyer. They do templates for all these kind of things. So you can definitely, it's easy to actually create a privacy policy, a basic one, but it's very important that you do have one and you do let people know what you are doing with any information that they provide. Okay, what number are we on? We are on number 8, and this is kind of tied in with the privacy policy, is you want a subscriber opt-in. So a subscriber opt-in is one of those boxes that pops up, or one of those banners that's somewhere on the website that says, hey, subscribe to my website, and I'm going to send you lots of wonderful, amazing tips and freebies about how to style yourself. You've all signed up for them in the past on different websites. I know you have. I've signed up for so many. We see those lead magnets. We get drawn in. We want some freebie they have to offer. And then they continue to send us information on a regular basis to hopefully kind of hook us in a little bit more and get us buying their product or, signing up for their services. It's a great way for you to actually start making a personal connection with somebody, to get in information, to showing them your expertise, and to start building up that relationship that will help you get them to the point of signing up and becoming a paying client. So subscriber opt-in is really great. In order to do this, the best way is to have a killer lead magnet. If you don't have a lead magnet already, you don't have to worry, because I did an episode. It was episode 35 that was all about creating a lead magnet that works. So when you're done listening to this one, head back to episode 35 and check it out. And that will tell you all you need to know about a lead magnet that you can use to then have people subscribing to your website. So, and this is why having that privacy policy also is very important, because if you've got people subscribing and handing over their email address and handing over their name, then you want to make sure that they understand what you are going to do with that information and how you are going to protect it and keep it safe. It is very, very important to people that you're not going to be selling their information or giving their information to other third parties. All right. So where are we? Number 9 now is you want to make sure that the branding on your website is actually connected to your niche. And this includes the colors that you're using as well as the images. They have to make sense for what you offer, what your niche is, and who you are trying to reach, who your target clients are. So if you are, let's say you are all about sustainable style, and that is your niche, then you want to make sure that the color scheme that you've chosen is one that represents that sustainability. So you're going to go for more natural colors, the natural browns, and maybe the olive greens, and that the images that you are choosing are not pictures of women wearing outfits from Shein or Temu, or any of the other fast fashion brands. You want to make sure that the images and those colors really are catching up to your niche. Because if somebody comes to your site and they're expecting to find out more about sustainability and how you can help them improve their sustainable choices when it comes to the clothes that they wear, and then they see that you're promoting images that have fast fashion in them, it's going to make them click and find someone else to work with. So definitely think carefully about what your niche is and think about the colors and the images that are going to tie in and create that really appropriate aesthetic for the specific brand that you have. Oh, all right. The last one on my list anyway, and definitely not the last thing that you will need to have on your website. But like I said, this is just the 10 key things that you definitely do need to have. And number 10 is a blog. Now, I did an episode not that long ago. I don't remember what number it is, about how personal stylists need a blog and why it is so important. It's such a good tool for several different reasons. Number one, it is the perfect way to show visitors to your website that you are an expert, that you have expertise in styling, and that you have expertise in whatever your styling niche may be. Blog is absolutely the killer way to do that. Another great reason for having a blog on your website is for SEO, search engine optimization. And if you've listened to past episodes, you've heard me mention that before. And I know that you probably know all about this because it is out there. Marketers are talking about it because it is so important in making sure that our website is seen and that people are finding it in search engines. So having a blog is a really good tool for your SEO because you can really focus in on those keywords, make it really, really rich in the keywords and the terms that people are searching for when they are looking to work with a stylist or whether they're looking to actually improve their style. You can create a blog based around a search phrase that somebody has used. So if somebody says, how do I create a capsule wardrobe? You can actually create a blog where the title is how to create a capsule wardrobe. Okay. That really is going to improve your opportunity to show up higher and show up in front of that person on different search engines. So it has so many different benefits to having a blog on your website. And I know not everybody feels comfortable writing, feels great about writing, but there are tools out there. We know there's Grammarly, can check everything, make sure your spelling's good, your grammar's good. You can get assistance from AI in helping write the blogs. Now, I definitely do not want you to go out there and have AI write every single blog for you. It definitely needs to have a personal touch, but it can kind of help you get the format and then turn it into your own words so that visitors to your website are actually connecting with your tone of voice through your writing. So those are the 10 important things that you definitely want to have on your website. As I said previously, there are many, many other things to include, but if you've got all these 10, you're going to be in a very good position to actually start ranking, to actually start having visitors come to your website and spending time there, getting to know you, getting to know what you and your business is about, and hopefully taking that next step to connect with you and become a paying client. So that's the episode for today. I hope it was really helpful. Please don't forget, head over to Apple or Spotify, leave me a review. I would greatly appreciate it. And it would be really helpful so that this podcast can be spread further and reach other personal stylists who are looking for business help too. Thank you once again for tuning in, and I will catch you on the next episode. If you enjoyed today's episode of the Business of Style podcast, then don't forget to hit subscribe so you'll be notified when a new episode is available. And of course, if you're looking for additional training and resources to help you in your career as a personal stylist, then be sure to visit my website, styleacademyintl.com.